What if I told you the most unexpected reunion of the year didn't happen on a red carpet or a reality show set, but in the middle of a quiet Father's Day backyard barbecue, and it involved Papoose, his trans son, and a stunned Claressa Shields standing by his side like it was Sunday service? Yeah, you heard that right. While the internet was still recovering from the BET Awards chaos, Remy Ma's walkout, the missing wedding ring, and that infamous side-eye caught in 4K, Papoose just pulled a plot twist no one had on their 2025 bingo card. And guess who was front and center, grinning like the proud first lady of a messy kingdom? Claressa freakin' Shields. But Remy? Oh, Remy was nowhere to be seen. And baby, the streets are talking
loud.
Was this reunion just a heartfelt family moment, or a calculated move to embarrass Remy Ma after months of silent warfare? Was Claressa shielding Papoose, or replacing someone else entirely? Oh, we've got the leaked footage, the shady family text threads, and even the apology that never made it to Instagram. So buckle up, this isn't just a family reunion. It's a full-blown redemption plot with a side of revenge. While most people were busy refreshing timelines looking for new celebrity beef, one quiet reunion just set the internet on fire. No press release, no promo, no headlines in the blogs. Just a 57-second video, one tight hug, and a father finally choosing his son in front of the whole world. And just like that, everything we thought we knew about Papoose, about Claressa, about loyalty and silence and real love, got turned upside down. The clip begins with no flashy editing. Just a slow pan over a small backyard setup. Folding chairs, dollar store balloons, a Bluetooth speaker playing a quiet R&B instrumental. And there he is, Papoose, dressed in all black like he's walking into a funeral or a fight. Except what happens next isn't death. It's resurrection. Because from behind the makeshift decoration arch, out walks a young man. Thin, clean-cut, soft-featured but carrying a face that looks just like Papoose's before the pain. You can tell from the way they look at each other. This isn't a staged reunion. This isn't some reality show setup. This is years of silence cracking wide open. The two stand for a moment. No words, just tension. And then the hug. Not a quick one. Not polite. It's the kind of embrace that makes everyone in the background go silent. You don't hear the music anymore. Just soft cries and a camera person trying not to shake. And here's the part no one was prepared for. The voice that comes from behind the camera. Calm, proud, unwavering. This is what family really looks like. It's Claressa Shields. She's not just there. She's behind the lens. She helped plan this. She made it happen. And the person not there? Remy Ma. The silence around her absence is deafening. And the fans noticed immediately. Comment sections exploded within hours. People weren't just asking questions, they were launching investigations. Where was Remy? Why wasn't she present? How come she's been silent about Papoose's son for years, and now, when the most important moment in his life unfolds, she's gone? Sources close to the family claim this reunion has been building for years. According to leaked DMs between someone who claims to be a cousin and a low-tier blog, Papoose had attempted to reach out to his son privately before.
Twice.
Once in 2022, and again last year. Both times, according to those messages, it was someone within the household who advised him to hold off and not make things more complicated. The phrasing was vague, but fans filled in the blanks. And the backlash wasn't subtle. Within 24 hours of the video leak, hashtags like #RealFatherEnergy and #SheDidn'tShowUp were trending. And not in Remy's favor. Because this isn't just a family reunion, it's a direct contradiction of every narrative we've been fed for the past decade. The loyal couple, the perfect love story, the ride-or-die support.
Gone.
Shattered by one hug and one woman holding a camera who used to be labeled the homewrecker. Here's the twist. According to insiders, Claressa was the one who made the first call. She reached out to Papoose's son weeks before Father's Day. She arranged the location. She helped write the speech Papoose never even got to finish because he broke down crying. One eyewitness even told a private gossip forum that Claressa was the one who paid for the decorations and the food. Not a flex. Not a PR move. Just someone doing what needed to be done when no one else would. Let that sink in. The woman who was dragged for stealing someone's man is now being praised for helping that man reconnect with his child. Meanwhile, Remy Ma has posted nothing, said nothing, liked nothing. No statement, no comment, no denial, just silence, and a highly filtered Instagram story about self-care that didn't land the way she thought it would. Public reaction has been brutal. One fan tweeted, "Claressa out here mothering a whole situation Remy ignored." Another wrote, "Imagine being married to someone for years and they never gave you the strength to do what Claressa did in 3 months." And it's not just internet chatter. A media executive from a well-known streaming platform confirmed to us anonymously that a short documentary pitch about the reunion has already been greenlit. And yes, Claressa will be listed as co-producer. Whether that's symbolic or strategic is anyone's guess. But one thing's clear, this woman is not stepping back into the shadows. As for Papoose, he hasn't said a word publicly, but his actions are louder than any verse he's ever rapped. He's been seen in multiple photos with his son since the reunion, including a private dinner in Harlem where the two reportedly toasted to new beginnings. A waitress at the restaurant claimed she overheard Papoose say, "I'm never letting him go again." It's hard to overstate how much of a narrative shift this is. For years, Remy and Papoose were hip-hop's moral compass, the example everyone pointed to. Now people are wondering how much of it was real and how much was just a survival story wrapped in PR. And Claressa, who once said in a post-fight interview that she knows how to win in silence, may have just won more than any belt can offer. Respect. From fans. From critics. From those who once called her a homewrecker. Turns out she was trying to fix something, not break it. Still, the questions keep piling up.
Why now?
Why this timing? Was this reunion a response to something we haven't seen yet? Did Papoose finally snap? Or did Claressa push him to do what he's always wanted to do, but never could? And what about Remy Ma? Is she hurt? Is she distancing herself from the situation? Or is this her way of punishing both of them quietly? Because make no mistake, staying silent during a storm is also a move. A loud one. Part 1 gave us the emotion. But part 2? That's where we dive deep into the power dynamics, the years of silence, and the family secrets that might finally explain why this reunion didn't happen sooner. We've got receipts, phone logs, and a therapist's note that allegedly confirms everything Papoose was afraid to say out loud. The footage may have gone viral in under a day, but the cracks in this family's foundation were years in the making. Behind that Father's Day hug was a long trail of missed calls, ignored messages, emotional damage, and silence that wasn't just deafening. It was strategic. Because when it comes to the Papoose-Remy-Ma-Claressa triangle, everything seems personal and public at the same time.
But
here's what the internet didn't know when it shared and reshared that reunion video. That hug was never supposed to happen. At least, not if certain people had their way. Sources close to Papoose's circle claim the reunion was nearly cancelled at the last minute.
why?
Because just days before the event, an anonymous message was sent to the son's phone. No name, no return address, just a single line. Not everyone needs to be forgiven. And while no one can confirm who sent it, the timing raised more than eyebrows. Especially when that same number was later linked to a burner account that had previously commented on posts defending Remy Ma's parenting choices. Suspicious? That's putting it mildly. And if you think this all sounds like a twisted drama, buckle up, because it gets worse. Apparently, Papoose had been attending therapy in secret for over 6 months. Not for himself, but for how to approach a reunion with his son. The therapist, who spoke under condition of anonymity, said the biggest obstacle was fear. Not fear of the son's reaction. Not fear of public backlash. But fear of conflict within his home. The sessions revealed something that was never said out loud in interviews, but always hovered underneath. That Papoose felt he had to choose between being a supportive father and being a loyal husband. It's not an easy position to be in. But what pushed him over the edge? Allegedly, it was a leaked phone log that showed Remy had blocked the son's number after a heated text exchange last year. The conversation, which has not been confirmed but is being discussed in fan forums and so-called inside blogs, included messages from the son saying, "You don't have to understand me. Just don't erase me." To which the alleged reply was, "You bring too much chaos." And that word, chaos, is what stuck. Because that's exactly what the public is now accusing Remy of hiding behind. Order, image, reputation. For years, she cultivated a narrative of strength, redemption, and family. A woman who made mistakes, paid her dues, and stood by her man. But if the messages are real, it means she was choosing silence over growth, control over connection. Meanwhile, Claressa, who never pretended to be anyone's moral compass, was doing the opposite. She was encouraging Papoose to step into his truth, not through public gestures, but through quiet action. According to someone close to Claressa's team, she spent weeks researching support resources for Black fathers with trans children. She even reached out to a community organizer in Newark who specializes in LGBTQ+ family therapy. And no, she didn't post about it. She didn't tag anyone. She didn't make a speech. Because it wasn't about optics. It was about change. Compare that to Remy, who still hasn't said a word. No statement. No clarification. Not even a vague post about family dynamics or personal healing. Nothing. Just a social media blackout that has made fans angrier by the day. One tweet summed it up perfectly. "Your silence is louder than the hug we watched." But the backlash isn't just online. There are whispers of canceled brand deals. One podcast platform that had been in talks with Remy for a motherhood series reportedly pulled out quietly last week. A rep for the company said only, "We're moving in a different direction." The direction? Toward Claressa, allegedly. And speaking of directions, let's talk about Papoose. Because the man who once stayed in his wife's shadow is now stepping into a spotlight of his own. And he's not just standing there quietly. He's building something. Sources say he's currently in talks with 2 major streaming services to executive produce a docuseries on fatherhood and redemption. And guess who's rumored to be episode 1? His son. Not Remy. Not the love story. Not the marriage. Just the raw, unfiltered truth about being a father trying to repair damage in real time. This is a man who once rapped about loyalty like it was religion. Now he's living it in a way no one expected. Not through marriage vows, but through a Father's Day video that might just redefine who he is to the world. And that, more than any drama, is what people are reacting to. The vulnerability, the transparency, the decision to do the right thing even when it's late. Because for a long time, Papoose was silent. And now he's not. But the story doesn't end there. Because something is brewing behind the scenes. A slow, deliberate counter-narrative that's about to go public. Word is, Remy is preparing her own side of the story. Not through a tweet, not through a post, but through a carefully crafted sit-down interview that's already been filmed, but not yet aired. The platform? A major urban media outlet known for exclusive tell-alls and damage control. The topic? Motherhood, betrayal, and what she's calling the full truth. Insiders say the interview will frame the reunion as an ambush. That Remy wasn't invited. That she was deliberately excluded to paint her in a negative light. That Papoose and Claressa staged the entire moment to control the public's sympathy. Whether that's true or not, the timing of her silence, followed by a polished interview, is raising red flags. If this was about family, why wait? Why hide? Even more damning are the rumors that this isn't the only family fracture being kept quiet. Another unnamed relative has hinted at additional fallouts within the family, suggesting that Papoose's decision to go public may have been motivated by more than love. It may have been about legacy, about control, about rewriting his place in the hip-hop family tree before someone else tells the story for him. Because, make no mistake, this isn't just about acceptance. It's about narrative. Who gets to control it? Who gets to speak? And who gets left out? For now, Claressa and Papoose are the ones in front of the lens. United. Unapologetic. But the silence from Remy is growing heavier. And when she finally speaks, it won't be subtle. It will be sharp, calculated, and possibly explosive. As we move toward the final chapter of this scandal, the stakes are higher than ever. Relationships have shifted. Allegiances have changed. And the audience, the people watching at home, sharing links, debating in comment sections, are no longer passive. They're choosing sides. And those sides are drawing battle lines through a family once seen as unbreakable. The reunion may have felt like closure to some, but for those who've been watching closely, it was just the opening act. Because behind the tears and viral hugs, something far more calculated has been moving beneath the surface. Family secrets don't stay buried forever. And now, with rumors of legal action, confidential footage leaking to journalists, and networks quietly circling for exclusive rights, this story is escalating into something much bigger than anyone expected. The hug was real. The moment was genuine. But what happens next? That's where the gloves come off. According to a private source who claims to have access to the Shield's Papoose media team, the reunion was just one part of a larger project. Not just a docuseries, but a full narrative rebranding campaign. And it's already in motion. Claressa has reportedly signed a deal with a major production house to executive produce a limited series centered around second chances, and the reunion footage was submitted as part of the pitch deck. Quiet meetings, confidential edits, contracts signed under NDAs. This wasn't just a spontaneous, emotional event.
It was a
chess move. And the moment Remy Ma got wind of it, she did what everyone feared. She called her lawyers. We're told she's exploring defamation options, intellectual property claims, and even the right to remove her name from any future projects involving her image or marriage. That's right, Remy Ma might legally separate herself not just from Papoose, but from the entire storyline, because she sees it for what it is. A slow erosion of her legacy by people she once called family. And now, enter the leak. Just days after part 2 of this story broke online, an anonymous email landed in the inbox of 3 different gossip blogs. The message claimed to contain audio from a therapy session between Papoose and a family counselor. In the clip, a man sounding exactly like Papoose says, "I waited for years hoping she'd come around. But when she told me, 'That's your burden, not mine,' I knew we were done." The blog that published the transcript was almost immediately hit with a takedown notice. But the damage was done. Screenshots spread like wildfire, and suddenly fans weren't just guessing, they were quoting. The clip changed everything. It painted Remy Ma not as absent, but dismissive. It gave context to her silence. And it gave fire to Claressa's subtle but consistent role as the quiet enabler of healing. While Remy was managing optics, Claressa was managing people. And the contrast could not be more public. Which is exactly why this story has now turned into a full-blown crisis for Remy Ma's brand. Let's talk numbers. Since the reunion footage dropped, Papoose's streaming numbers have gone up by 32%. He gained over 400,000 followers across social media platforms in under a week. Claressa's sponsorship opportunities have increased, with 3 major wellness brands reaching out to her for collaboration. Meanwhile, Remy has lost 2 small endorsements and reportedly had an upcoming TV appearance postponed indefinitely due to what was described as ongoing family instability. This isn't speculation. This is a power shift. And it's happening fast. Even internally, it's chaos. Allegedly, members of Remy's own management team have started reaching out to press in an attempt to clarify her side of the story before the interview drops. One insider says the recorded interview we mentioned earlier has now been re-edited to include statements about Papoose's past infidelities, Claressa's alleged interference in her marriage, and a segment about emotional manipulation that she claims was weaponized against her. But here's the problem with that strategy. It feels late, reactive, like damage control from someone who never thought the narrative would flip this fast. And the public can smell panic. For a decade, Remy Ma has been the one holding the mic telling her story, owning her past. But in this moment, she's quiet while others speak louder. And they're being heard. Papoose's son, whose name we're still choosing not to publish out of respect, has also broken his silence. In a private Instagram story that was screen-recorded and leaked by a mutual follower, he shared a black and white photo of him and his father at the reunion with the caption, "It's been a long time coming." "I missed you. Thank you for seeing me." No callouts, no anger, just peace. And that, more than anything, was the final gut punch. Because that caption told a deeper story. That he had been there, waiting, all along. And now people are asking, why didn't Remy see him? Why did it take this long? Why did it take Claressa to bring a father and son back together? The questions are no longer whispers. They're loud, public, and relentless. And unless Remy's response is absolute perfection, the audience she's spent years building may not be so forgiving. Meanwhile, there's another twist, a rumored restraining clause in Papoose and Remy's prenuptial agreement. According to a supposed leak, the agreement includes a clause that restricts either party from publicly shaming or interfering with the career trajectory of the other in the event of marital breakdown. That clause, if real, could determine whether Remy even has the legal grounds to challenge the content in Claressa's upcoming docuseries. It could silence her. And fans have already started speculating that this is why she's stalling. But Claressa? She's not slowing down. Sources say she's preparing a press run that includes podcast interviews, a cover feature for an athletic lifestyle magazine, and possibly a guest spot on a talk show, where the reunion will be a central topic. She's leaning in, not running. And that scares people who thought she would fade into the background once the heat got too high. Instead, she's doing the opposite, taking control of the spotlight that was handed to her, not stolen. So what does all this mean for Papoose? For years, he was the quiet one, the supportive one, the man who stood by Remy when others wouldn't. Now, he's the center of the narrative. And the public is watching him not with curiosity, but with respect. Because in a time when so many men choose silence, he chose love. And while it came late, it came loud, unapologetic, visible, public. The reunion wasn't about optics. It was about reclaiming something he lost years ago. A relationship, a connection, a sense of peace. And with Claressa by his side, he did what he couldn't do before. He chose to stop hiding, to stop delaying, to stop making excuses. And now, the dominoes are falling. Fast. As the dust begins to settle, one thing is clear. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a reckoning. For Remy Ma, for Papoose, for Claressa, and for every family that's ever let silence speak louder than love. So now we ask you, the viewers, the fans, the people who followed the story from the beginning, what do you think? Was this reunion a genuine act of healing? Or was it a strategic media move to shift public sympathy? Did Claressa save this family, or divide it for good? And is Remy Ma the villain, or just someone who finally got outplayed? Tell us what side you're on in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more exclusive breakdowns, leaks, and inside stories. Because if this story proves anything, it's that the truth isn't just stranger than fiction, it's louder. And there you have it. A Father's Day reunion that wasn't just about family, it was about power, silence, and the truth finally stepping out of the shadows. Papoose didn't just hug his son, he hugged a version of himself he'd buried years ago. Claressa didn't just support him, she orchestrated one of the boldest moves we've seen in hip-hop family drama in years. And Remy Ma? She didn't even have to speak. Her absence said everything. So now the question isn't what happened. The question is, what happens next? Will Remy Ma fire back with a televised tell-all that flips the sympathy script? Will Claressa double down and go from GWAT to Stepmom of the Year? Will Papoose keep pulling back layers of truth until we're left with a full-on documentary series about redemption, regret, and real love? You decide. You judge. Because in the age of receipts, silence is no longer protection, it's a statement. And if this saga has shown us anything, it's that no one's legacy is safe when the cameras start rolling and the truth starts leaking. So, if you want more stories like this, the ones they don't want you to hear, make sure you like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. We don't just report the tea, we pour it boiling. This is the drama they tried to bury, the footage they tried to erase, and the reunion that shook a marriage, reignited a father's fight, and made one woman the most unexpected player in the game. Stay tuned, because if you think this was wild, you haven't seen anything yet.
Subscribe now.
This is Gossip Spill Vibe.
And we don't miss.